Well, on April 1st, Jake thought it would be funny to play April Fool's joke on our families, and he decided to send an ultrasound picture to them all saying that we were expecting, which we were not. So that was funny. But then come May 1st, we found out we were expecting. Not quite so funny. We were happy with 3 kids. I'm not quite sure if we can handle 4, but it didn't take long, and we were excited about it and ready for the challenge and excited to have a baby around again. So then July 1st comes around, and the genetic counselor called us, and she said that our baby girl was going to have trisomy 13, or 60% chance that she would have trisomy 13. I can remember her saying, and if it does have trisomy 13, it won't make it.
And I was sitting in my office at school, and Lisa calls and says, "Hey, we have some news," and she's crying and she's emotional and just really struggling, and I'm sitting there, and she goes, "We got some bad news," and I said, "What is it?" And I started throwing out different things, and she said, "No, it's worse." And then she said, "Our baby has trisomy 13," and I remember just in my gut just feeling just this shock and this just awkwardness and trying to wonder what's going on. And so I look it up, and then you start looking at pictures and you see the worst of the worst.
I was thinking, how can I go 9 months knowing that this baby's not going to make it? I'm not strong enough.
We heard the words terminate, we heard abortion, we heard just a lot of things that we could do to make this process smooth for our situation. And we continued to reflect on the situation and just say, God put this baby in our life. We don't understand the difficulty and why we have to go through this difficulty, but we also know that through every step that we take here, God is gonna work through this, and so that was kind of what our belief was. And
our first ultrasound that we did when we got back from California showed us for sure that you could see the cleft, you could see the extra digits, so we knew that that's what it was.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, but I remember the feelings of, we used to love ultrasounds. We'd love to go in there and hear our baby's heartbeat, and so with our 3 other children. And then we started to go to ultrasounds, and we just would cringe the day before, knowing, okay, this is what we have to go through this.
So at times there were times where I was like, oh, I would just wish I would miscarry this baby, because this is going to be way too hard. Let's just miscarry so we can close this chapter now. But the minute I would think about those thoughts and get down and think that I couldn't do it, God just strategically, He just intentionally put things in my path that kept me going. For weeks leading up to it, I've just thinking about that day, I just couldn't even breathe just to think about it. But as it got closer to December 11th, I just felt this peace that, God's got this.
So December 11th rolls around. We're in this room with 3 different doctors, and it's really 15 people probably.
We didn't know how long we would have her. I didn't know if I would even get to hold her or to see her much, because I would be in recovery.
And they're just sitting there, just really calming us and just talking us through the process. And I'm waiting for Savayah to come out and seeing her not functioning and just getting ready to say our final words and hug her and hold her and say goodbye. And Savayah is coming out kind of breathing, and ends up, they're saying she's doing really well.
Out of the corner of my eye, I could see what was going on, and I could hear her crying eventually, and they kept talking me through, saying, like Jake said, she's doing okay. And I had some nice medical people on my side that were just talking me through it, assuring me that I was going to get to hold her, and I was going to get the chance to see her. As they rolled her to the NICU, our family got to see her, and they all were saying, she's beautiful, and the kids, oh, she's so cute. So
we gave her the name Savayah. When we posted that, one of her cousins responded and said, I think that name means in favor of God. And that was just one of those chilling moments.
But I just remember she was hooked up to so many things. But I could still see this little life that I was carrying for 9 months. And I just remember thinking, she looks like a real baby. She's a beautiful girl. Her extra digits we were just tiny, barely even noticed them, and her cleft lip was not a big deal either. I just remember thinking, she looks like a real baby.
We had a lot of tough decisions to make in this process of how much do we want to actually do to allow Savayah to survive here. But what's been really cool is the blessings that we've seen through this. And you know, the Sioux Falls Christian community prepared us for this, and more than Sioux Falls Christian, it's South Dakota, it's her hometown, it's my hometown, it's the friends that we've made along the way. But there's been people who have gone through situations at our school. There's been people that have been through different situations like ours, and it's just been good to be able to talk to those people and say, okay, what did you actually go through? What did you experience? And what's right here? There's a song, Symphony by the group Switch. It causes you to think about what a symphony looks like, and there's so many different pieces to that entire puzzle to make the symphony sound beautiful. And like we looked at our life, and there's like just so much going on in different directions.
And just a lot of things along the way that you could tell God was showing up, and God was going to carry you through this, through his people.
And we show up at the hospital. As we walked up, we saw Pat Tiefenthaler.
Yes, and he had been praying over the hallways, the rooms, everything that we were going to be going through. He was just praying over us, and that was encouraging right there, just to see God had placed him right there.
It's the people who have been put in our life that I'm like, okay, why is this person in my life? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, like this person was put in my life group 2 years ago because of this.
And my nurse actually ended up being a mom from Sioux Falls Christian as well. So that was also another way God's showing, you know, I'm here. I'm going to take you through this.
You know, you see different people that are like feeling our story and just caring about us, and it's from them, but God put that on their heart.
We were so excited to bring her home and be a family again.
When we walked in the door and our kids had cards for Savayah and notes posted on the wall.
We've just been very open, even to this day. Like they know they come up from school and she might not be living. And every night Sawyer will pray and help Savayah not to die today. So they know the reality.
We quickly learned that miracles don't always look like what we expect them to look like.
We had another hard day at the NICU, and we were coming home, and we come home to carolers from Sioux Falls Christian. It was just really cool.
And you're right, that Carolyn night, it was just what we needed. We were living in the NICU and coming home, and all of a sudden...
support, like it's right there. Like, people genuinely care.
And it just allowed us to realize that like Savayah is our daughter, is God's child, and we just continue to see her like defeat all odds throughout this process. And we have a duty as a parent to take care of God's child here and to allow her to live as long as we can in a way that's pain-free.
And she is just doing fine here. There's definitely tough days. It's hard to watch her struggle different days. But we're just going to cherish every day that we have with her.